Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtiwada. In this video, we will learn about JavaScript debugging. So how the debugging will work in JavaScript. So we already spoke about for loop in my previous video. By using this debugging, we can understand how the flow of this for loop will happen in JavaScript. So let me go into the Visual Studio Code. Here I have an index.html which is already linked with the script tag, and now index.js is linked up with my index.html. So if we run this index.html, it automatically runs this index.js. So let me go here into the browser. So here already we have this JavaScript debugging, and now what I'll do is I wrote a for loop, and this for loop will execute this whole looping conditions, and it will console all this for 5 times. Let's see that output first. Let me go and inspect this, and you can see the console, and you can see 5 times this loop has been triggered. And now what I want to do is how the flow is happening, how this flow executes in JavaScript. Let me go into this particular line, or you can go directly into the source and you can select your index.js file, and let me zoom it a bit. Now let me close this, and then let me move this side. Yeah. So I'm keeping a debugger over here. So once I refresh this, it will come into this debugging and we will debug how it is executing. So let me go here and reload. So once it came here, first it came here to the initialization part. And if you go next, it went to the condition part. So whenever you give this debugger, it will not go forward and it will stop your execution there until unless you resumes that particular script execution. Until all the debuggers are done, you cannot see complete UI. So you have init of 0. You can see this when you hover on that variable, it is showing 0. 0 less than 5. Yes, it's true. I want to go to the next step. I can use this one, step over next function call. So if I click this, it went into the console. It didn't went into the increment decrement. It went into the console. Once the execution of this for loop is done, then it will go back to your increment. So now the value is 0. Once after executing this value, the init value should become 1, and it should not come to the initialization again until whole loop is done. So let me go back. Now here you can see 1, and let me next. So if you see here, the next statement it executed is console for the second time, and the init value is 1 because it is not going here. And now the execution continues. Next it went to increment. Now next it went to condition, again loop, execution, increment, and condition, and loop, execution, increment, condition. And let's see the condition. Now it is 4. 4 is also less than 5. Let me go inside the loop and now increment, and now the init value is 5. 5 is not less than 5, hence it is false and the condition failed. So now it should come to the sixth line. Let's see that. If I execute, it went to the sixth line. So once I click this, execution is done. So that's how you can use a JavaScript debugging, and this is the flow how your for loop will work by using JavaScript debugging. So this way you can understand how the looping will work and from where till where it is going and how it is executing your for loop. So that's about your JavaScript debugging. So let me show you something here. Here, whatever the checkpoints you are giving, that will be visible over here. For example, this is called as a checkpoint, and if you want to remove the checkpoint, you can click that blue one, it removed, and you can see the code is empty. When I click this, again I have something called as index.js, and inside that index.js, I have one debugger point. When I click this, there are two debugger points in the same thing, and you can keep this debugging only on the JavaScript files, not on the HTML files. So remember that. If I go into HTML, if you keep this, that is not a right way to use. Okay, so always try to keep your debugging on the JavaScript files alone. And once that execution is done, then you can either remove from here or you can remove from here. And if you want to stop the debugger, for example, I have a debugging point here, I don't want to execute my debugging for now, then you can use this one. So it will stop your debugging, and if you refresh, it is not encountered that debugger point, and it is executing complete functionality. And whenever you don't want to remove this and you want to execute without a debugger, then you can use this. If you want to enable the debugging with the previous checkpoints, then you can use this particular into enabled. So if you are enabling this, it will enable your debugger. If you click on this, it will disable your debugger. So that's how your JavaScript debugging will work. Hope this gives you a glance and clear understanding about debugging in JavaScript. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.